Space, the final frontier. Your mission today, cadet, is to explore the mysteries of the cosmos. And make sure not to leave any rock unturned, as you might just find the most surprising things in the least expected places. Greetings folks, welcome back to the channel, The Brick Sweethearts. And yes, as you may have noticed, today's video is all about space. A pretty popular, and it's been around for quite a while now, the theme for space. And we decided it's time to put our astronaut suit on and shoot off into the stars. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, as we will have a number of space sets reviews coming into the future. But today we wanted to start off with the entry point. It is a 4+ set 60429, the Spaceship and Asteroid Discovery. Of course, this is a pretty simple enough build. It is intended for a 4+ audience. It's designed to help the new generation come into LEGO. So this set is intended for a much younger audience. It is a 4+ set, very basic instructions and build. It is of course intended for a newer generation to come into LEGO, get their toes dipped in, learn how to actually build something that's a bit more complicated than just some Duplo bricks that are put on top of one another. And the intent is that they kind of see how some of the bigger sets that they might see in the shop, some of the big UCS sets, they're starting to get a feel that there's more fun things that can be done with LEGO. You just need to follow the instructions in a sense. So I'm excited to see what this build is like. I don't expect it to take very long to build, nor be too complicated, but the actual picture that it comes with, it does look pretty nice, and I am excited to see how this big ship is built, as it does show us that it comes with one massive centerpiece. So interesting to see that. Of course, we will be getting more of the space sets, so as I said, make sure to subscribe. We'll have a few coming out soon, and yeah, let me get building, see what it's like, and I'll give you my thoughts afterwards. Welcome back folks. We have the set completely built here. It was a very short amount of time, not that many pieces, so it didn't take too long to figure out and follow the instructions, which I do actually want to give a little shout out to. This was in fact my first 4+ set. I generally don't purchase them as they are intended for a much younger audience, and the part to cost ratio is a bit. I do know that we have some big pieces here and there are no stickers, everything is printed, but it is still a pretty expensive set in reality, so it's not something that I normally go for. But for the space theme, I really like a lot of the sets that have been released, and they really look nice on the box art and online, so I kind of wanted to get the whole range, or as close as I can, to acquiring all the sets. And I thought, what better way to start our review than to get a 4+ set, which would be the entry point for the theme for a new younger audience. So let me discuss the instructions manual that I wanted to point out. It was quite surprising, since I've never had one of these sets before. It was interesting to see that on one page it had 2 little drawings of hands. It showed that these are the pieces that you need to gather, and then on the right hand side it had where on the model those pieces went. So each 2-page spread was a new instruction. At first I was a bit confused, why not just reduce the amount of pages that you're printing and have a page where you can put one piece and a page where you can put a second. But then I suppose I kind of understand, and I answered my own question in the sense that it is for a 4+ set. So I'm assuming that they don't want the kids to kind of be overwhelmed by too much going on the page, so they made it super easy, and you're kind of learning at the same time, where it's like, take this piece, put it in your right hand, take this other piece, put it in your left, and then on the other page this is where it puts together, and you're going to put it right here. So I can kind of see why they had to simplify the instructions, so that it was a learning process and it would help the kid be a bit more self-reliant, so they hopefully won't need a parent. They'll be able to follow the instructions pretty well and in the process, their brains are developing, they're kind of getting a bit more technical, they're understanding a few more things, even though it might not be something that's kind of conscious, it might be a subconscious thing that they're starting to learn to figure out where they can spot the piece, where it needs to go, counting the amount of studs, that type of thing. So that was, interesting to figure out and learn that that's probably, it is still a guess from my side, but I'm assuming that's probably why they made the instructions like that. Now let's go over the build itself. We do have 2 boulders that come with the set. One of them does contain the little mystery surprise that I told you about, these interesting blue crystals. They're a bit translucent and they have some glitter in them, so they look very nice, I have to say. It's something that I'd recommend you get your hands on. It's probably something that might be just for this theme. You might not be able to get it in other themes, so if you are a collector of pieces, you may need to get your hands on one of the space theme sets to get this interesting crystal. Now, to get one of these boulders, they give you a nice little crane that you can lift things up. I'm assuming this might also be able to interact with one of the other sets. I know there is the kind of big rover that they have that carries a few things, so it's possible that you could take this and put it on that rover, or if you wanted to, you could put it near your little laboratory station, where if you get the crystals that are inside, it does give a nice window clear printed piece where it shows that for this theme, and I've seen some of these crystals on some of the other sets, that they are being transformed into kind of a battery pack, which is 2 little cylinder pieces that again are the same color, translucent with some glitter in it, and they also give you a nice little printed piece to put on top to show that it is a battery pack. So a nice little introduction into space theme where you're getting some sort of alien crystal and putting it and transforming it into magical energy. So like, not magical, but a scientific way of showing that you can find energy in different things. And of course, the ship itself, pretty basic. It's a nice, you have this big central piece that everything is built on top, and it turns out pretty nice, pretty basic. It's your bog standard kind of space shuttle. What it really reminds me of is in fact Star Trek, where every ship has its own little pods that go out, and if you want to go to a planet and you're not using your little transponder, you'd get one of these and fly down. So it really gives me that vibe. There is a mothership in a sense where you're exploring space, and then you take out this tiny little pod and off you go to, in this case it would be an asteroid, so that you can mine these rocks. And of course we do get 2 individuals in the ship. We also get this pilot, which is in a blue color. Now for some reason I can't seem to get the camera to focus, so what I'll do is I'll give you a quick zoom in afterwards. I'll set up the set so that you can see. And we seem to get this, I believe it's a scientist, which is in green. I'll give you a close-up in a tiny bit with a nice little alien piece, which I'll show you. I'll show that in a second. So overall, it's nice. No stickers, because it's a 4+ set, lots of printed pieces, and even though it wasn't very complicated to build, I think visually it still turned out quite nice. I do think visually that this will still match and be nice to add to your overall space theme when you get some of the other sets. And here we are, folks, with the close-up of the minifigs. On the left we have a wonderful blue pilot, and then I believe that the green character is supposed to be a scientist. I'm assuming that just because they're the one who is dealing with the conversion of the crystal into power, so just a guess there. And then of course a nice cute little alien. So overall I did enjoy this set. It's a nice introduction to the theme. If you like this video, make sure to give us a like. It helps us out in the algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe. We will be creating more space content once we get the sets coming to us. There is also plenty of other content. We will be doing a lot more Harry Potter and Star Wars coming up with some interesting sets that we've acquired. I'd recommend that you subscribe and check those out when they come out. And until next time, folks, take care, but also make sure to keep your eyes up as you might just spot a shooting star.